This Saturday night at 8 p.m., the West End Cultural Centre will host a truly unforgettable concert featuring one of Winnipeg's most luminous talents. Argentinian-Canadian singer Onna Lou is celebrating the release of her third studio album, Quiero Verte Volar, I Want to See You Fly. Blending the warmth of Latin folk, the catchiness of contemporary pop, and the grandeur of cinematic string arrangements, this show is going to be as emotionally moving as it will be musically captivating. Drawing on her classical composition training and her contemporary writing and production degree from Berklee, Onna Lou has collaborated with her longtime partner, Julian Vidal, and 5 exceptional string players, including members of the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra, to craft an album that guides listeners on a journey of rebirth, courage, and self-acceptance, all the while delivering an evening of pure entertainment. And joining me here in the Classic 107 studio to talk about her album and the CD release at the West End, I am joined by the one and only Onna Lou. Hey, Onna, great to have you back.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So the last time you were here was back in June, ahead of your performance for the TD International Jazz Festival. And we were talking about some of the songs on Quiero Verte Volar. How does it feel to have the album finally out and ready to go?
Oh, it feels amazing. It feels so good. And I really don't want to go like 3 years before I release the new album. But, you know, it was post-pandemic, and I guess it took a while to gather myself. But the songs and what has happened in this period, like after the pandemic in my life, has been even more transformative than what had happened before. And just having this group of songs and now be able to just look at them and reflect to what they talk about and the events in my life, it's just so gratifying, and I hope it will resonate with people.
The last time you were here, you said that the album is about being yourself, embracing who you are, giving what you have to give freely, and enjoying life, and just occupying your place in the world.
Yes.
Can you talk about that? Can you go into that further? What kinds of things, what were some of the inspirations for the album?
Like each song is each song, right? I could talk about each song individually. But in general, why I chose that song title and I think what all the songs reflect in one way or another is like coming to terms with who you are. But not because before I couldn't, but I think, there were things in my heart and in my mind that hadn't happened yet before, and that sort of like developed and got to like a maturity in the last couple of years that transformed me, that changed me in ways that I wasn't even expecting. You know, I'm 42 now, so I'm talking more of the period between 40 and 42, 39 and 42. I was fine. I wasn't expecting to transform, but then. Like self-knowledge. I think I mentioned last time I got diagnosed with ADHD, and that was a game changer for me, complete understanding myself and changing the way I treated myself and the way I went about things, and a lot of like understanding what the events of my life up until that point. And also the big change of getting medication for ADHD, and again, it was mind-blowing, like the change. And so experiencing, feeling well. Feeling the way I had like only an intuition of like, life shouldn't feel like this, but you have no reference really, right? Because you only have your own experience. But there was always like that suspicion that, there's something at play here, and I couldn't put my finger on it, and it took years and years and years of therapy and researching, but finally I got to that corner of the mental health range, and I got diagnosed, and it was just fantastic.
Part of it's just growing up. I mean, like, I remember turning 40. It was, things change. And now I'm 50. And
there's another shift, right?
As you get older, you start to look at the world differently and think things that were important in your 20s.
Yeah.
They're not important now.
Yeah, exactly. Your priorities change. And also there's like the information you come across, the people you come across, the experiences of life, the pain, the joys, everything opens different doors that sort of like, I feel like new rooms in my soul or whatever are opened, and then a whole new path opens up.
Yeah, beautiful. It's not only going to be you who's going to be performing on Saturday night. You've got an opening act opening for you. Can you talk about them? Who are they?
I feel so important having an opening act. The opening act are called Viento South, which means wind south, wind from the south. It's a mix of Spanish and English, and it's the members are Luis Hermida from Colombia and Paulina Gonzalez from Mexico. She's a singer, classically formed, classically trained singer, and he's a guitar player and also producer. And he writes the most beautiful songs. And they do Latin American repertoire and original music, and they have this warmth and this emotionality to what they do that I love. And they've started like a couple of years ago maybe, and they are my friends too, so it felt right to have them open.
The title track, the last time you were here, you said it was written like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you're writing all these songs. When you were writing the songs, the rest of the songs of the album, were you sort of thinking in the back of your mind, oh, this will go well with this?
Oh, no.
Or how did that come together?
No, I never, or so far in my career, I've never written thinking of a concept of an album. I just write songs that of things that I need to say in that moment that come out. But then it happens, and of course it's logical because I'm a wholesome human being with my own experience, that when I look back, of course there is a coherence in what's in those songs because it's my experience. All my songs are very autobiographical, or if they are not, maybe they are not about my experience, but they are about experiences near me that have touched me deeply, so in a sense are also autobiographical. So to answer your question, no, I don't write like that. I just, of course, whenever I put together an album, I have more songs than the songs I put in the album. So in that selecting, there is the moment when I have to decide a title, that I'm looking at the songs and it sort of becomes clear what my life has been about. And then there is one song that represents that more clearly, and that sort of guides then the selection that I make.
The album makes use of a string quintet. For you, what flavor does a string quintet add to the album? And can you talk about the 5 players who you recorded with?
Yeah. So what flavor it adds?
Yeah.
Well, to me, it's a little bit, of course, it's not like the sounds sound classical, because it's not. It's folk music mixed with pop and influences from all over Latin America, and even some jazz and some rock. But it adds a more academic sound, if you want, things that flavor that you don't hear in some, probably mostly in pop music or folk music. In this, of course, you hear strings, but this, like in the quintet compositional style, and it presented a challenge to write in this genre, but for a string quintet. It's classical, you studied it and you know the language, and it comes out. But when you're writing to accompany a folk, pop, rock song, it presents all sorts of challenges. But what I feel like strings for anyone, like it touches sort of like a fiber in the emotionality, and I wanted to bring that to my music. I feel like it's enriching, and I love like bringing that element that is usually more present, of course, in academic music, classical music, and whatnot, to bring it to folk. I love that. To maybe get that in people's ears that may not be used to listening to strings, because maybe the kind of music they listen. I kind of like that. I like fusion, right? So I end up doing weird things in songs. And that's part of that same tendency that I've had since I started writing songs.
I'm super interested in the recording process. I was saying off air, you're the recording queen. You and your partner Julian have you've got recording degrees from Berklee.
Yeah.
So begs the question, where was the album recorded? And can you talk about the recording process of it?
Yeah, we recorded at home. We have a studio which we registered a couple of years ago. It's called Buenos Aires Music Productions, and it's out of our house. And we have we have some acousticization and not a lot of space. Maybe someday we'll have more. But nowadays, a lot is plugins, right? It's digital stuff. So you can have if we had to have all the possibilities of sounds that we have in these discs that are the size of the palm of my hand, if we had to have the actual equipment, I don't know, we would need 3 houses.
Yeah.
But now you can have such a complete and rich production value in just little space.
Yeah.
So we recorded at home.
And you don't need huge consoles to do it.
No. You don't even need a console, because the console is just like a tool to sort of mediate between the computer and you. But the console is on the screen and you just use the mouse and whatnot. But it's comfortable to have a console, but not. It doesn't make to the quality of the recording.
Yeah. How many tracks are on the album, and is it going to be just guitar, strings? Can you talk about? I'm just reading. There's going to be some bandoneon as well.
There is some bandoneon in one of the songs, which Gio Robson, who is a Canadian from Portage La Prairie and Winnipeg, and he's our dear friend, and he speaks Spanish perfectly, and he loves Argentina. He dances tango, he plays the bandoneon, so he recorded for the last album one song, and now he's recorded for another one. And we have bombo, which is a folkloric Argentinian drum. We have different types of guitar. We have some electronic elements here and there in the tracks. What else?
Are you going to be playing any ukulele?
There is a guitarlele, I think, in one of the songs, but it's maybe you can't even hear it. It's like a color. But the things that are more featured, yes, are the strings, guitar, and a lot of vocal arrangements. And there's more. My previous album had a little drum set. There's more drum set in this album. More drums.
Amazing. The song Quiero Verte Volar is going to be released on all streaming platforms on the 15th.
Yeah.
Is the entire album going to be released on that same day?
Well.
And can you talk about where people can get the album if they want?
Yes. This is what I've decided to do. So this Saturday, we're having the album release or album hometown debut of the album at the West End. We're going to play the album. And there's going to be limited edition physical copies for people to acquire the album and be able to listen to it months before anywhere else in the world. Because for the rest of the world and on digital platforms, we're releasing this Saturday the first single, then December, January, February singles, and then on March the full album.
Oh wow.
So this is really I wanted to do it special for Winnipeg somehow and give access before to the people here. So it turned out cool, I think. I like the idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Then after the release show on Saturday, you're going to be doing some traveling with the album. Can you talk about Buenos Aires in 2026 and the tour that you're going to be doing in Ontario in February and March and with Carrie Latimer? Yeah. And then you're going to be touring with Shea Wolf in April too, right?
Yeah. Yes, I'm doing more touring and more touring. because my son is older now and it's a lot of fun. So I am going to do a show in May in Argentina. For now, it's just Buenos Aires, but I might do another province too, where I love to go, that my family is from there. So sometimes I've gone and done shows on both cities. But for now, Buenos Aires for sure, to present the album and have also the string quintet. And I'll play with local musicians. But and then in February, we're doing a Home Roots tour. It's like the end of February and the first 2 weeks of March. I think it's 15 or 16 dates. And I'm touring with Carrie Latimer. I was going to do, Home Roots contacted me to give me the opportunity to do these tours, but I figured I wanted to bring a friend along because it's exhausting to do those tours, and because it's such a cool experience I was telling Shay, whom I toured with earlier this year, that when you're a grown woman like I am, it's not so easy to travel with friends anymore. Right? You travel with your family and that's it. So it's just an amazing opportunity to share time with a dear friend. And I've also found that people love like the synergy between two artists on stage. It's very intimate shows. It's just, for example, Carrie and me, and we alternate songs and we accompany each other and we chat in between. And it's just beautiful. So what else? And with Shay, we're going to do like from Winnipeg to Saskatoon. Yeah, we're going to do several shows in the route there. And that's set for April. Yeah, second half of April.
Perfect. Onna, as always, this has been great having you here in studio. I'm going to wrap up the conversation by asking what you hope audiences are going to take away from the CD release on Saturday at the West End.
I hope that they will be like inspired by the songs, that they would leave feeling more connected to themselves and wanting to be more themselves in whatever that means for each person, and that they are also like stimulated by the music and get more curious about music in other languages and about Latin music. Yeah,
amazing. As always, it's been super excellent to have you here in studio. All the best on Saturday night. I hope the album Quiero Verte Volar is a big success. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me today. And I understand you're going to play us out. What are we going to hear? Can you talk about it?
You're going to hear Estar por Estar, which is also one of the songs from the album. And it means to be, or just for the sake of being. And it's about that forgotten concept in nowadays of just taking moments where you're doing nothing, but really nothing. Not like watching Netflix or taking the time to make a call or to answer messages or to scroll on social media, like doing nothing. We hardly do that. I hardly do that anymore. And it's something that I think people used to do more when there weren't so many stimuli from stimuli and so much access to stuff, and I think it's necessary. We need to have more, and even if it starts being like 30 seconds here and there, but to just like quiet the mind with not meditation, but just like be where you are.
I'll let you take it away.
Estar por estar, estar por estar, estar por estar, no más. Hay aire, hay sol, hay viento, hay campo, hay beso, hay risa, hay noche, hay llanto, hay cielo, hay cuento, hay lluvia, hay duelo, hay abrazo, hay comienzo, hay siesta, hay juego. Hay mate, hay café, hay ideas, hay fe, hay saber, hay voz, hay amor, hay amor. Hay de todo, hay de todo, hay de todo, por estar nomás, nomás por estar nomás. Estar por estar, estar por estar, estar por estar, no más. Hay cumbre, hay valle, hay caracola, hay rezo, hay esperas, hay ansias, hay aves, hay vuelo, hay arrugas, hay huellas, hay mar, hay arena, hay duda, hay convicción, hay alma, hay razón. Hay manos, hay seda, hay latidos, hay cuerdas, hay miel, hay sabor, hay amor, hay amor, hay de todo, hay de todo, hay de todo, hay de todo. Si sabemos mirar, si sabemos estar, por estar nomás, por estar nomás, nomás por estar nomás, nomás por estar nomás. Hay mesa, hay pan, hay vino, hay cuerpo, hay árbol, hay luz, hay piel, hay encuentro, flor y manzana, ojos y canas, nubes y suelo, hay canciones, hay sueños, hay de todo, hay de todo, hay de todo, hay de todo. Si sabemos mirar, si sabemos estar, por estar nomás, por estar nomás, nomás por estar nomás, nomás por estar nomás. Estar